Hey trappers, Dale Billingsley here, Billingsley Brand Lures. Guys, I'm still out here in the fur shed just milking these oil sacks. For those of you that aren't familiar with what these are beaver oil sacks out of the back end of the beaver. This is what they contain an oil in them, and that's what he waterproofs his fur with. I just wanted to clarify what those are in case some of the young trappers or new trappers out there weren't quite aware of what they are. So anyway, what I want to talk to you about today is the use of gland lures and their importance that they play in trapping predators. Now, my opinion, and again, this is just my opinion, gland lures play a very important role. We know that all predators are attracted to the smell of other animals, no matter what it is, whether it's a mink, whether it's a muskrat, a beaver, a fox, another coyote, a skunk. It doesn't matter. So, in my opinion, each one of them plays a different role. When I'm starting out first thing early in the season trapping cows, you're trapping, for the most part, you're trapping dispersal pups. As well as roaming adults too, but for the most part, it's dispersing pups. I want, especially a dirt hole set, I want that dirt hole to mimic the den, okay, to smell like the den. So I'm going to put a good commercial lure, a good commercial bait, and I'm talking about a food lure or a good curiosity type lure. A good commercial bait with it. Then I want a chunk of fresh bait, and it can be anything you want it to be. A chunk of roadkill deer, a chunk of calf, a chunk of a goat or a sheep or a beaver. It can even be a big chunk of coyote ham. It doesn't matter. Something fresh in that hole, because those pups are such terrible hunters. They haven't developed the skills yet to go out and survive and hunt on their own for the most part. Now, granted, they're going to kill a few, but they're not like, it isn't going to be like it will be a year from then. So, and then I also want a good quality coyote urine or a good fox urine or even a good bobcat urine. It doesn't matter. And then a smear of a gland lure. Now, I prefer, if I'm trapping coyotes, if I'm targeting coyotes, I want a good coyote gland lure, because it mimics the den. It smells. They're like, oh wow, that smells a lot like home, and it triggers that memory, that response. So those pups, those dispersing pups, they may not be bold enough to come to a commercial bait or a commercial lure. He may not even want anything to do with a gland lure because he's had his ass whipped, by the old dominant male or the dominant female. But you got that fresh chunk, that chunk of fresh bait in there that's going to help draw him on in. But I want that thing to mimic the den. I want it to smell like home. A lot of times that will bring those more timid acting coyotes on into play. I also feel like, you can get away with a lot of things that time of the year. You can use bobcat gland, you can use red fox gland, just because of the simple fact that it's a curiosity thing to them, okay? And they may be not quite so hesitant to come into that type of a smell because they haven't encountered it, or they think, hey, I'm not too scared of a red fox, or I'm not too afraid of a bobcat, where he might be a little more shy of a coyote type smell. So those are things you want to kind of try to keep in mind when you're putting those sets in, especially early in the season. Now, later on in the season, when everything's got a little age on it, and everything's kind of gotten a little bigger and a little bolder and not quite as spooky of everything, then you can go to using more coyote glands if you want to catch those coyotes. But early in the season like that, I feel it's pretty important to maybe shy away from the coyote smell so much, just because you don't know what the age is of that coyote. You don't know what the social status is. So by using red fox, bobcat, even muskrat glands, mink glands, something of that sort, not only are you piquing his curiosity, but you're playing to his strength as well. And I feel sometimes that's important. Now, Not saying that I won't back that set up with a good coyote smell at another set, just to go ahead and catch that one that's a little more bolder and got a little more age on him. Something of that sort. Those things are pretty important. So, and then later on in the season, of course, you get into the running season when they're starting to pair up. They're searching for mates. Then a good, especially with coyotes and red fox especially, a good fox or a good coyote gland lure is shoring up at a good flat set, a good urine post set, something of that sort. They're going to go ahead and come on into it. So, guys, I don't want to bore you. I don't want to tarry on this subject very much, but I think there was some pretty good information here for you if you choose to use it. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for tuning in and watching. I appreciate everything you've done for this channel. If you would, please, if you found this information useful to you, if you just hit that thumbs up for me, it means so much to me. It means a lot to the YouTube algorithm. So, once again, guys, this is Dale Billingsley with another one. Signing out.